Good evening, everybody. Austin Silver, Senior Forex Analyst with T3 Live. Happy Monday. I hope everybody had a great start to their trading week, a great start to their week overall. We had a great call out this morning in our live trading room to really get our week started on the right foot, a winning trade on GBP AUD, which we are going to go over here tonight. I'm also going to walk you through my presentation for the evening about the GDP numbers coming out and what Donald Trump has to say about them. And I'm also going to give you guys our usual update on cryptocurrencies. So let's get into it for tonight. As always, I like to start us off with a little quote. My quote tonight is from none other than Scott Redler. Trade the market in front of you, not the market you want. I think that this is a quote that if I was going to get anything tattooed on my neck, this is what it would be. Because for me, when you, especially coming in as a new trader, I'm still, in my first 10 years of the business. When you're first in the business, you see how much speculation there is, how much hype there is around news and around new press releases and earnings reports and all these different pieces that go into it that require a lot of speculation and sometimes forecasting. For me, where I've seen people make a lot of money, where I've seen people find a lot of success, is in actually doing what Scott said, in analyzing what's in front of you, not what you want to happen, not what you think is going to happen, not what's forecasted to happen, but actually what's in front of you, and making your decisions based on that is going to lead you to be more profitable in the long run than if you just try to trade the market that you think you want in your head, which is actually never going to be the market that's in front of you. So I really just like his quote because it's very applicable to the active day trader, the person who's actively looking for setups every single day, unique entry and exit signals. This applies right to us. So our agenda for tonight, we're going to, like I said, talk about Trump and what he thinks for the GDP numbers coming out on Friday. We're also going to review the trade from GBP AUD, and we're going to touch on Bitcoin. So a quick little presentation here tonight, but we're going to jam pack it with some good info as always. So if you're hanging out with us, if you're hanging out with us on Facebook Live, if you're hanging out with me on Instagram Live, as always, I just want you guys to know that I really, really do appreciate the time. People are getting more and more consistent with their views, and I do appreciate that because it holds me to another level of accountability. It's like, Austin, you actually have people that are looking for you to show up every single night and provide them with valuable information. It makes me really put some effort into these presentations to make sure that I am bringing you the most current information that I can. So, the headline from today, this is from Fox Business. Trump says U.S. economic growth nears 5%. Is it time to celebrate? The quote from the article said, but Trump and his economic team are increasingly convinced that the GDP numbers will be strong. The president's economic advisors are privately telling associates that GDP should rise to 4.3 or to 4.4% for the second quarter of this year. These people added. President Trump is even optimistic, telling one associate he expects second quarter GDP to rise as much as 4.8% in the second quarter. So, of course, Trump is optimistic, right? Like that, there's no shocker about how his economy is doing, right? But for us, we want to understand first what GDP really is. It stands for gross domestic product. It's the economic output of a country. It's a total dollar value of all the goods and services produced within a country, and it includes the employees' salaries within that nation as well. So GDP is a very important figure. It's used to compare, one of its uses is to compare nations to each other, how nations are growing compared to other nations. And that's a very important barometer, especially for countries that are trying to emerge as developing nations with developing markets. There's four main components of GDP, and we're not going to go into each one too specifically right now, but just understand that you have personal consumption, which includes the retail sales numbers. You have business investment, which includes construction and inventory numbers. You have government spending, which includes all the stuff that we love, defense spending, social security benefits, all that stuff. And then you have net trade, which is your exports added to GDP minus your imports subtracted from GDP. So these are your four components that go into GDP, but personal consumption and government spending are your two major components. But number one is definitely personal consumption. So Friday, this coming Friday, July 27th, you can see right here is the date. At 8:30, we're going to get GDP numbers from last quarter released. These are the numbers that Trump is talking about. They're coming out at 8:30 on Friday. They're already forecasted to come in here on forexfactory.com at 4.1%. So they're already coming in much higher than previous 2.0%, right? The fact that you have Trump talking about it, Forex Factory hyping it up, everybody over the next couple days, it's only Monday, this news is Friday, everybody over the next couple days is going to start talking about these numbers. Oh, the numbers at the end of the week. Oh, the numbers at the end of the week. let them talk. We have plenty of opportunities for us as short-term day traders to go in and make money in the market beforehand. So how do we trade this news on Friday? We don't. As a day trader, like I said here, with rumors and speculation already building, it's safer for us to remain flat. We can trade before the news. We can trade after the news potentially, but not during this major news event when these GDP numbers are released. So let's tie this into today. How did we make money today? Well, you can see from today's news, Monday, July 23rd, we had no high impact news events at all low and medium impact, which keeps the market clean in the sense that there's no major fundamental events that will come in and shake us out of a trade. So it's really important on days like today to be focused, be alert, be very present on the charts to take advantage of any opportunities. Here was the opportunity that we were looking at this morning. This was GBP-AUD that you can see on the 15-minute chart. We had an ascending channel formation. It broke out of the Asian range. It fit every parameter that we were looking for. The only thing that I didn't really like about it was the fact that we were trading counter trend to the 800 EMA, which is this blue line right here. Trading counter trend like this, we know that 800 EMA could be resistance, could be a level where we might need to take profit. So when this trade consolidated for about 30 minutes before moving higher, took me up about 7 pips, took me up about 10 pips in the next candle, and then within an hour and a half, I was out at 15, and everybody in our live room was also out at 15 pips. And you can see here on the 5-minute, within an hour and a half, it was up 15 pips and also close to the top of the channel. So the fact that it was close to the top of the channel, and earlier in the day we had seen it hit the channel, come down, hit the channel, come down, I was aware of the fact that if I had held in and it came back down and maybe stopped me out, or if I didn't get as many pips out of it as I could have, I would have looked back in hindsight and been like, Austin, guys, why did you not take profit here at 15 pips when you were at the top of the channel? Yes, it could break through and go higher and go 45 pips, which it did, but you know that that's a level where you could see it move off of. So why keep the money at risk when you know your trading plan says 15 pip take profit? So what I need to do, what I need to really focus on, what my biggest issue is not holding these winners long enough. Here you can see is a photo of my winning trade, my 2 buy orders in as we're moving off the 8 EMA. But if I go back quickly to the 15-minute chart, notice how none of these candle bodies break the 8 EMA all the way up to the pivot point. The pivot point is right here, all the way up to the pivot point, 45 pips from the entry. Not a single candle breaks the 8 EMA. So what does that mean? Well, we definitely want to take profit when the strategy, the S2 strategy, tells us to take profit, but we also want to get good at reading a trending trade, reading a winning trade, and seeing, yeah, we are counter trend overall, but this uptrend is very powerful, and until it breaks the 8 EMA, there isn't an official sign that the trend is going to slow down. Notice how it does not break the 8 EMA until right here, which is about 10:15. So it had plenty of time to just let this thing develop. So what I really need to get better at, like I said here, I close my winning trades too early. I take all my position off. I can close majority of it at 15 pips, but let the rest of it continue to run just so I can learn how to manage these better. So I want to get better at that going in the future. So hold me to that. If you're listening to me, hold me to that. I want to get better at holding my winning trades. In a year from now, I want to hold this whole move here off the 15-minute. I want to hold this whole move at least to the 800. I didn't even get to the 800 because I took it here at the top of the channel. At least to the 800. So let's talk about Bitcoin. We can see here, remember, I'm not changing these levels. I left these levels in from when we started drawing this back at the beginning of July. We never came back down to the 5,800 level, and we knew that since we broke through the 50 EMA, which is at about 6,800, since we broke through 6,800 so clean on the daily chart, we knew that we had potential to head up to the 50 or the 200 EMA right here. Now that we've gotten closer, and even yesterday I was talking about this, and I was like, I don't know if it's going to make it. The pins are in the way. It's showing some resistance there. Let's see what happens. Doesn't matter. When it's in trend, when it's outside the 8 EMA, just like it is here on the daily chart, it's in trend. You want to give it the space it needs. And look here, even though it consolidated for 5 days, it's still pushed higher up to 77.27. Now, we're entering a point, if I show you the 4-hour chart, here's that consolidation over the last couple days. We've broken above the 800 EMA on the 4-hour chart. We're headed towards that 7,800 price level. And I said to you guys, 78, 79, 8,000. Very important levels for Bitcoin. If we can break through 8,000, we could really see a strong upward movement here and maybe find this thing getting some really strong support to move higher, maybe back towards 9 or 10,000. Who knows? For me as an active trader on the short side, on the short-term side, not the short side, on the short-term side, I'm not trying to make long-term speculation like that. Oh, it could get to 10K by this month. Nah, I don't care about that. As far as that stuff is concerned, people just say stuff like that for the headlines. I'm focused on the daily analysis. So if you're actively trading Bitcoin right now, you are in an uptrend. You are catching a short-term uptrend, maybe some type of a pullback if you're considering us still in a bear market. But I think that because of all the rumors, because of all the speculation, you have so much money starting to come into the market. And if you do some research, you can see what I'm talking about. Just go on Twitter and do some digging. There's a lot of people getting more and more interested in Bitcoin going into the future. So we want to be very aware of all those levels. And as always, guys, I'd like to wrap up the show by just letting you know about our program. We have our 5-hour video course that's available for anyone that's looking to learn how to get started day trading Forex. We also have access to our live trading room from 5 to 11 every day, where I call out my trades like that GBP-AUD trade today. I call out other setups that people can trade, maybe at slightly of a lower probability than the ones that I'm looking for, because I'm trying to be really perfect, but I still identify every single setup possible. And we do our 1-hour coaching calls every night, Sunday through Thursday at 7 p.m. So a ton of value for you if you're just starting to get in, just getting started in day trading, all for $200 a month. It's a great deal. So if you're interested in joining, I'd be happy to work with you. We're always looking to add more people. But my presentation tonight can just be summed up that Trump is really hoping that we can get record GDP numbers to come out on Friday. For us as day traders, we're going to watch all the speculation all week. We're going to watch all the news outlets talk about it. We're going to watch Trump tweet about it. And we are going to wait, see the reaction in the market, and trade the market in front of us, just like Scott Redler says. Not the market we want, not the GDP numbers we want, but the market in front of us. So whatever it presents, that's what we trade. All right? If you guys have any questions, as always, please leave them on Facebook, leave them on Instagram. I'm always here to answer questions, and I'd be happy to help you. Even if you're not interested in our program and you just have a couple questions you need answered about your Forex trading, reach out to me. I'm always looking to connect with new traders. And if you're an equity trader and you're thinking, how do I make money, more than what I'm doing right now? Maybe you're looking for a new market that trades earlier in the day. Come check us out. We'd be happy to show you what we're working with in the live room and how we're calling these trades out every single day. Not every day, whenever they present. I don't want to say every day, but they present fairly often. But when they do, we identify them and we're making good money. So, as always, I appreciate the time. For our traders, I will see you tomorrow in the live room. For everyone else, have a great rest of your week trading. I'll see you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Thanks, guys.